got me restless.
I'm gone.
Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Into the trench. See a lead be the bench. Storm winds when we slide. Right when the top down, bitch, you high. I'm high and I'm vibing, pumping Zai. My pride is OT providing. Trying to come up on a dial. Distro distributes the product. Make it pop like Crisco, nigga who want a pride. Got back from Buckhead where they stack bread like a bunk bed. Whooping on the net, boy, gotta be a dust head. Don't get mad, get even. Shorty be with them heathens. Call me JB Bickerstaff. Got some shooters in Cleveland.
Welcome back. We got another episode of Corner to Copa. We have another player profile to talk about, and I'm going to let Coach run down on all the details. Take it away.
Thank you, Foster. Yep, another arm. This one is going to be hopefully around for some years to come, being the 1-2 punch with Scooble, and that is the young Reese Olson out of Gainesville, Georgia, drafted in 2018, the 13th round, originally by Milwaukee. Debuted June 2nd of 2023. Detroit actually acquired him in 2021, part of the Daniel Norris trade that sent him out. In return, we got Reese Olson. We purchased his contract in November that year. He won a Gold Glove in the minor leagues that year, called up the next year, 2022, made his debut in Toledo. And in June of that year is originally when he got called up to Detroit. Last year's stats, respectable, 5-7, 3.99 ERA in 21 games, 18 starts, a little over 100 innings thrown, 103 strikeouts, 1.12 whip. Again, respectable numbers. This year, as we've talked in our regular show, he just doesn't get the run support that would really reflect a true win-loss record for him. So prior to last weekend, he was 4-8, 3.23 ERA in 19 starts, already at 100-plus innings pitched, 92 strikeouts at 31 walks, good ratio of 3-1 roughly, 1.18 whip, and an opponent batting average only 236. So we've seen what he's capable of this year. And he's been absolutely dynamic. I think he's going to be a great 1-2 punch with Scooble, hopefully the next handful of years to come here. Now, dipping into his pitch, some additional stats here. His chase percentage is ranked in the 87th percentile. They're chasing at a 32.5%, which is in the great column. His whiff rate is considered exceptional at the 71% tile, whiffing at almost 28% of the time. Barrel percentage, he ranks in the 83 percentile. Again, exceptional, above average. They're only barreling it up at about 5.4%, and he is inducing a lot of ground balls. His ground ball percentage is also ranked in the 87th percentile, getting almost a little over 50% of all balls in play to ground out. Looking at some of his other numbers here specifically, I thought this was interesting. His slider and changeup in terms of opponent batting average, I think this has been his bread and butter. His slider, they're batting 149 against him this year, and his changeup, they're only hitting 221. And it makes sense because his slider is we look into his repertoire, he throws it 28% of the time, average about 85 miles an hour. He throws a four-seam just a hair under at 24% of the time, right around 94 miles an hour. Changeup 22% around 86, and his sinker at 20% around 94 miles an hour. And to boot, he's got a new curveball that he's only been throwing since last year. He throws at about 6% of the time, just under a hair under 80 miles per hour on average. So he definitely throws four pitches confidently, and he's working on a fifth one. And if that comes around to develop into, at least at a respectable pitch, I mean, he could have, 3 to 4 plus pitches and, a somewhat deceiving curveball. So we'll see on that curveball how he develops it throughout the year and if he decides to stick with it in the next year. But I tell you, some of the changes and improvements from last year to this year, I got 3 of them specifically here. He's increased his ground ball percentage rate from 42% to, over that 51% rate that we were just talking about. He's decreased his fly ball percentage from 24.9, which is almost 1 in 4, to 18.1, which is under 1 and 5. So, I mean, they almost look exactly, where he's added, he's subtracted almost equally between those two types of balls in play for percentages, which obviously, if you're in the air more, you're at risk to getting it, smacked out over the fence. But he's done a really good job improving that. And lastly, as a result, too, because you're rolling him over more, you're not hitting it very well in terms of barrel rate. So he's decreased his barrel percentage from 10.9% in half to 5.4%, which is absolutely incredible. I think a lot of these numbers scream exactly why he's been performing the way he has. He's handcuffed some good lineups. And I think with, him and Scooble being able to feed off each other, I mean, they're clearly without Flaherty now, as it is. This is definitely the 1-2 punch probably going to be, carrying us. The rest, depending on who they get next year and whatnot, these guys are going to be carrying the JanSport pack back, if you will. They're going to tell the team, all right, jump on in. Let's go for the ride. But, Reese has been very impressive. If he just gets some run support this year, I think it'll help with some of his record. But, I think Tiger fans and those who follow baseball and good players have seen what he's been doing this year. And he is, I think, just starting to becoming something special. That is Reese Olson for Detroit Tigers.
Absolutely. And one thing that we definitely wanted to see was that improvement, which, as you have highlighted, he has improved in some of the ways that he was lacking. And he, also, as you said, that he was some run support and obviously a pretty not serious injury, but a pretty lengthy injury time off away from having another successful full year. But we look forward to seeing if he can maybe get back and pitch a few more games before the season is up, and looking forward to the future, because he is a pretty young guy and likely a part of our core moving forward. But please subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube and Corner to Copa on all audio platforms. We'll be bringing you more and more player profiles as the season progresses. We're out of here.